This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. There's nothing sweeter than baking cookies during the holidays. With Prime, I get all my ingredients delivered right to my door, fast and free, no last-minute store trips needed. And of course, I blast my favorite holiday playlist on Amazon Music. It's the ultimate soundtrack for creating unforgettable memories. From streaming to shopping, it's on Prime. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to get more out of whatever you're into.
This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Looking for a pickup truck to get just about anything done? Look no further. The Chevy Silverado EV isn't just the most powerful Silverado ever, with next-level towing capability and technology. It also offers game-changing versatility with the available multi-flex midgate and tailgate, which means Silverado EV helps you carry large, bulky, and oddly shaped items up to nearly 11 feet in length. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Visit Chevrolet.com to learn more.
Craven, the hunter, who uses all the methods of the animals.
This Thursday, witness the making of a new Marvel villain.
Once you're on his list, there's only one way off.
Aaron Taylor Johnson is Craven the Hunter. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent.
Welcome back to Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network. You can follow us on our YouTube channel as well at LA Rams Up. I'm your host, Mark. I'll be joined occasionally by my football gurus, Paul and Ian. Let's get to it. What's going on, Ram fans? It's almost here, the showdown in Santa Clara, Rams 49ers. Now, I've read in various places that this is being called a must-win game for both teams. The loser is in deep trouble. And, that's more so for the 49ers than the Rams. Rams can lose this game and still capture the NFC West title, but we don't want that to happen. We need a win. It's just going to pave the way to the playoffs for us potentially. And it is a very big deal for the 49ers. If they lose this game, they really are done. So we need to win it for two reasons. One, to get to the playoffs ourselves. And number two, put the 49ers out of their misery. And it has been a miserable year for them. Let's get it done. Now, there's been talk about the weather up there. It will indeed be raining Thursday morning. That should end by 1 o'clock. And per AccuWeather, some showers later in the day, probably near the end of the game potentially, possibly even after the game. So I don't think rain is going to be a big impact unless the field is still wet and soggy. And that field has received some bad reviews, so that might be the case. But who knows who that's going to favor? I would think it would favor Matthew Stafford over Brock Purdy, perhaps. After that, who the heck knows? The final injury report for this game: Kobe Durant has indeed been ruled out along with Tyler Higbee. Higbee is really no surprise, especially if it is a soggy field up there. Let's hold him back one more game. Now Durant, what that means is we will likely see Emmanuel Forbes out there. So hopefully not a big drop-off like the way Kobe Durant's been playing though. A bunch of guys questionable, including Tyler Davis, Jordan Whittington, Davis Allen, DeMarcus Robinson, Bo Limmer, and Alaric Jackson, all listed as questionable. Man, it'd be nice if at least half of those guys could go. Whittington and DeMarcus Robinson both being out would elevate the importance of Tutu Atwell and Tyler Johnson in this offense for sure. And Bo Limmer, man, he has been playing so well. We do have $1 million free agent interior offensive lineman on our bench, though, Jonah Jackson. So hopefully if Bo can't go, we can plug Jonah in there and not miss a beat. Probably the most worrisome, Alaric Jackson, we need him to go. 49er is pretty dinged up too. Pro Bowl tackle Trent Williams ruled out, as has safety Malik Mustafa. and a bunch of guys listed as questionable, including Nick Bosa, Isaac Guerrero, Dre Greenlaw, and Khalil Davis. Now, Greenlaw, this would be his first action if he does play since the Super Bowl. So both teams going to be shorthanded one way or another. Rams have some important players that could miss this game, and Trent Williams being out, that's a really big deal too. I'm going to share my power rankings and game picks, get that out, and then sometime midday Thursday, hopefully get a pregame pulse video out. So be on the lookout for that. Rams 49ers doesn't get any better than this. Let's get into my Week 15 power rankings, racking and stacking the top end of the NFL, heading into Week 15 action. Well, first we have some changes in the green room. Going to start with the Arizona Cardinals. Wow, I'm really disappointed in you guys. Had you elevated into the top 12 just a few weeks ago. I think I had you at 9 or 10. You guys were just humming along and, man, blown some tires here. And they are quickly falling out of the NFC West race. Well, really not. I mean, they're probably going to go on a 2-game winning streak here with the Patriots and Panthers on their schedule, but still very disappointed, and I have dropped them out of my green room. So they were in the green room, into the top 12, back into the green room, and now out completely. Maybe they'll be back, we'll see. And one team that remains in the green room, the Washington Commanders, they were there last week, and they are still there. And they were with only 2 teams in my green room last week, the Cardinals and the Commanders. But I have 3 teams that I have moved up out of no man's land into the green room. That would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers suddenly leading the NFC South, the San Francisco 49ers, who pummeled the Chicago Bears. How much should we make of that? I don't know, not sure. Bears are kind of a dumpster fire a little bit. I hate that term, but they're kind of leaning in that direction, aren't they? 49ers dominated both sides of the ball, so maybe they're coming to life. And our Los Angeles Rams, got to give them credit, beating a top-tier team, one of the elite teams in the NFL. And I know the Bills, that was a challenge for them to fly across the country and take on a team that was playing really well, offensively anyways. But you got to give the Rams some credit, right? They pulled it off, so they're back in the green room with a 7-6 record. So 4 teams in the green room, the Commanders, Rams, 49ers, and Bucks. Now, my number 12, 11, 10, 9, and 8 team, no changes. The Texans were on a bye. They're still at number 12. The Broncos, also on a bye, remain at my number 11 team. My number 10 team, the LA Chargers, not dinging them at all for losing to Kansas City. You know, man, life as a Charger fan is really, really difficult. I was having this conversation with a longtime Charger fan the other day, how really thrilling and fun it can be to be a Rams fan. I mean, we have our down years, but we also have a lot of up years, right? Over the years, over the seasons. And the Chargers, man, just constantly losing games in the closing minutes. Their kicker clunking balls off the post and such. And now they go into Kansas City, such an important game for them. And the Chiefs kicker, well, he hits the post, but what happens? That's right, it clunks through the uprights, giving the Chiefs the win. I'm not dinging the Chargers at all, though. They're still my number 10 team. And the Seahawks, I'm keeping them at number 9. Really impressive win, taking care of the Cardinals, but not enough for me to elevate them over my number 8 team, the Baltimore Ravens. They are 8-5, and didn't see this coming. 2 games behind the Steelers. They are in trouble, at least as far as the divisional title goes. And that's the thing about the AFC. It's almost like the 7 playoff teams are almost determined here. I mean, the Colts and the Dolphins, an outside chance, but man, not real likely in my opinion. I think we know what we're going to get in the AFC playoffs. Maybe not the exact pecking order, but the 7 teams anyways. Dolphins fans aren't going to like hearing that, but I think that is the case. Dropping 2 spots from number 5 to number 7, the Green Bay Packers, And it's really about what my new number 5 and 6 teams did. The Steelers moving up one spot from 7 to number 6, a really impressive win over the Browns. And the Vikings, number 6 to number 5 now. And why? Because, well, the Falcons came to town. It was a really close game for a while there, and then the Vikings turned it on to control that game at home. So the Packers dropping 2 spots, and I'm not really trying to ding the Packers for poor play, anything like that. I just think right now, I mean, look at the Vikings are 11-2, the Steelers are 10-3. Pretty impressive. Packers sitting at 9-4.
This year, Santa's bringing the power of Energizer into his workshop.
Whoa, the Energizer Bunny's got so much power.
Wait, he's powered up all the toys. I think that means we're done for the year.
I love this bunny.
He's the hardest working helper the North Pole has ever seen. And he wants all your gifts to have the power of the #1 longest lasting AA battery. So this holiday season, stock up on Santa's and the elves' favorite battery, Energizer Ultimate Lithium.
So, you want to be a marketer. It's easy. You just have to score a ton of leads and figure out a way to turn them all into customers. Plus, manage a dozen channels, write 1 million blogs, and launch 100 campaigns all at once. When that's done, simply make your socials go viral and bring in record profits. No sweat. Okay, fine. It's a lot of sweat. But with HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools, launching benchmark-breaking campaigns is easier than ever. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/MBO. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast here to tell you about Michelob Ultra Courtside. It's getting fans closer to the NBA with a chance to win prizes like courtside seats, a trip to All-Star Weekend, and much more. Check it out at MichelobUltra.com/courtside. Michelob Ultra Superior Access, Courtside 24-25 sweepstakes, no purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21 and up. Begins on October 1st, 2024, ends July 1st, 2025. Multiple entry periods. Visit MichelobUltra.com/courtside for free entry deadlines, and official rules. Message and data rates may apply. Void where prohibited.
My number 4 team dropping 1 spot, the Philadelphia Eagles, really struggling to put away the Carolina Panthers. And, this is what happened to the Eagles last year. It was much more drastic, fell off really bad. Eagles, I don't know, since that game against the Rams, not too convincing. And the Buffalo Bills, I dropped them 1 spot from number 2 to number 3. And why? Well, they lost. They lost to a 6-6 team, the now 7-6 Rams on the road. They played really well, but gave up 42 points to the Rams. I don't know, should we celebrate the Rams for putting up those kinds of points on a good team like the Bills, or do we have some concerns about the Bills' defense? I'm not sure, but I'm dinging them 1 spot is all. I think that's fair. And my new number 2 team, the Kansas City Chiefs, leapfrogging the Eagles and Bills, and really been unimpressed with the Chiefs' offense, especially all year long, but they're getting the W's. They're unimpressive, but they're finding ways to win close games. That could help them a lot in the playoffs, dealing with those close games. Not that they really need any help. They've done this before. This is just, old news for the Kansas City Chiefs, winning close games. They're doing it in the regular season this time around, and they'll probably do it in the playoffs as well. And still hanging in there at number 1, the Detroit Lions. I don't think there's any question about it. That's where they belong, right above the Chiefs. Now, last time I did this, I talked about my Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. My Tier 1 is really limited to 3 teams at this point, the Lions, Chiefs, and Bills, dropping the Eagles to my Tier 2, along with the Vikings, Steelers, and Packers. And my Tier 3 teams, the Ravens, dropping into that group, along with the Seahawks, Chargers, Broncos, and Texans. Man, it is down to the wire here in the NFL. 4 games remaining. Things are about to get crazy, I think. Let's get into my Week 15 Rams Up straight up game picks. First, let's look at how last week went. Pete and I were incorrect on the Jags-Titans game, the Seahawks-Cardinals game, and the Rams-Bills game. That's right, I picked the Bills. What was I thinking? The first time in 3 decades, I should have rolled with the Rams. Shame on me, and it cost me. Could have moved up one more on Pete. There are 2 games we disagreed on. One of them went his way. That was the Chiefs over the Chargers. Really thought the Chargers would pull that out. And then he picked the Giants over the Saints. I have no idea why. So we split those. So what does that mean? We both went 9-4 last week. Fair to middling. And I maintain an 8-pick lead over him. I have correctly picked 136 games. 72 incorrect to Pete's 128 and 80. Feel pretty confident that I can finish this season ahead of him at this point with only 4 weeks left. So what about week 15? Thursday night, I am picking the Rams. Learned my lesson last week, and it's not going to be easy. This is going to be a coin flip game. 49ers are better than their 6-7 record would indicate, and they're getting a couple guys back maybe. Cowboys at the Panthers, man. Cowboys must be so deflated. I know they are deflated. Micah Parsons in the locker room after that loss to the Bengals. That was a pretty sad moment, actually. But I am taking the Cowboys to pick up the road win. Chiefs at Browns. Well, Chiefs will win a nail-biter. Dolphins at the Texans. Texans coming off a bye, and I think they'll get the win here. Really important game. Could pretty much end the Dolphins season. And the Texans, we were all excited about them, but have been somewhat disappointing over the last month or so. The Jets at the Jags. Now, Trevor Lawrence won't go, so I guess it's going to be Mac Jones. And I'm going to take the Jets. This is a tough one. Not a fan of what's going on in New York, but the Jags are just what the doctor ordered. Commanders at the Saints. Commanders coming off a bye as well. And if Derek Carr was healthy, I would go with the Saints. It's either going to be Jake Haener or Spencer Rattler. I will take the Commanders for the road win. Ravens at the Giants. Another road team gets the win there. Bengals at the Titans. Yet another road team. The Bengals gets the win. Patriots at the Cardinals. That will be a feisty Patriots team on the road. Cardinals, really poor performance last week against the Seahawks, but they get the win to stay in the playoff hunt. Colts at the Broncos, another extremely important game. Colts trying to catch the Texans, the Broncos fighting for a high wild card seed. The Broncos win this one. Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions. Talk about a marquee game, potential Super Bowl preview, and second straight road game for the Bills, and the Lions playing really good football. I could go either way on this, but I'm just going to take the home team. When in doubt, take the home team. Buccaneers at the Chargers, kind of the same deal. Baker Mayfield returns to SoFi. Not sure if Ladd McConkey is going to be able to go. They really need him. The rookie wide receiver is an important part of that offense. An offense that is missing J.K. Dobbins as well, right? But Chargers get the win at home. And they better. If the Bucs can win this, big step forward towards an NFC South championship with the Falcons floundering. Battle of Pennsylvania, Steelers at the Eagles. A lot of people down on the Eagles. Well, Vegas apparently isn't. I thought that 4.5-point spread was a little high. Steelers' offense is starting to roll. I am going to take the home team here, though. This will be a really fun game. Probably a little lower scoring than you would expect. Steelers' defense will give Jalen Hurts fits, but Eagles come out on top, and this is another coin flip game. When in doubt, take the home team. Packers at the Seahawks, 2 teams that I think are not as good as their record shows. And Seattle's a tough place to play, but Packers coming off the bye, Seattle coming off a dominant performance in Arizona. 12th man aside, I take the Packers to win this, maybe picking more with my heart than my head. This would be really big for the Rams if the Seahawks take it on the chin here. The Bears at the Vikings, man, Bears, you get that interim coach, this surge of energy to play for them, and then it slowly dissipates and the Vikings will hammer the Bears. Falcons at the Raiders. This is a game the Raiders could get a win, could steal a win here. This is the type of team they could rise to the occasion and beat, but Falcons have a lot to play for. If the Bucs win their game and Atlanta loses here, they are in deep trouble, so I am taking the Falcons. That's it. That's my Rams Up Straight Up picks. We'll check in next week, see how I did. That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Our handle is at laramsup.com. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.
It can get lonely climbing Mount McKinley, so to entertain myself, I go to ChumbaCasino.com. At Chumba Casino, I can play hundreds of online casino-style games for free, like online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Plus, I get a daily login bonus. It's just too bad that up here, I don't have anyone to share my excitement with. Woohoo! Woohoo!
Live the Chumba life. Anytime, anywhere. Play for free now at ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.